Good morning. Welcome back to Realationship, where average Joe and average women talk about their relationship struggle in the atmosphere of anything relationship related. Today we are doing a special edition. Back on the panel again, we have Mr. Controversy himself, Cappuccino. Talk to the people, them.
Morning. We just want to say a special thanks to the followers and the fans,
Mhm.
for chiming in. So we're going to touch some topics this morning. So look out for it.
All right, and then we have Mr. Level himself, keeping it balanced, level, different perspective. Talk to the people, them.
Yeah, blessed morning, peeps. I just say, some fun day. Yes, and really appreciate our followers and supporters. So, yeah, they have some burning issues that they want to touch on. So, we're going to touch on it, caress a bit, and bring it
All
forward.
right. So, good morning again, gentlemen. So, thank you on the behalf of the show. Yeah, we appreciate the feedback. So, this show today is about the followers, the fans, and what you guys asked us to talk about today. These topics are strictly from you guys, and we're gonna chop it up the best we can from our view and see how we feel about what we have to say about it. All right. So let's go. So first on the list, somebody said in without calling name, but then put in how you bring up expectations and when. How and when you bring up your expectation while dating. So the two are in a wasting of time 3, 4, 5, 6 months, knowing said this is our dead relationship, but you know, just stick it out because you're lonely. Oh, and when?
All right, well, for women, talking about expectations, you have to be very careful because with have someone, they will hear the expectation and knowing themselves, say, hey, boy, that is not me. Yeah, so, however, she just give me the secret code to reach the final stage in the
To
game.
get a blueprint.
Yeah, a cheat code in a sense. So you can now mold your profile towards the expectation that she has. So I think you really need to get an appreciation of the personality you have in front of you first. Or for me, I would say do not delve in the expectations. Keep expectations to yourself and see if those expectations comfort from the person you're trying to get to know. Because you're getting to know someone, so you will pick up on your expectations or not.
Okay, so basically upon what you're saying, both male and female,
Mhm.
they should hold certain parts of them in our box in terms of what them expect from the other person because if they do that, it's like, all right, me I go tell you what me want, and
Mhm.
then the person can morph into that person and
Right,
genuinely.
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, all right. Well, fair enough. What say you, Capo? Oh, you see the whole thing from
Yeah,
your
well,
point of view.
I agree with level that people will morph into who they think you want them to be. And I think a lot of times, well, from a man's standpoint, we'll ask the lady, what kind of man you're looking for, what kind of relationship you're looking for, and then she just come and just say everything, and then the man will like. But I think without saying what you're looking for, you can let you know what, because what you're looking for in the man and the expectation of the relationship, though must be the same thing. So even if you do say what you're looking for in the person, your expectation of the relationship is still something different. So you can still look out and see if the person genuine, if they must stick true what them claim to be, or if it's just a facade. So you have to not to play the game, but you gotta look out for certain little things to be said and done throughout the dating process to know so well, so this don't really look right, and then you take it from there.
But let me ask the question. But at times, when people are look for something for themselves, them blinded by it. So it's easier said than done because you just say, boy, you look for signs. A lot of time the signs them dead and we ignore them because we want it to work so bad.
We want it
So
to work. Yeah, the red flag
yeah,
them
you
come
put
up,
aside
we
your
have the red.
expectations.
Yeah,
Exactly. You
but
put aside your expectations because boy, I really want this to work. Maybe that is just a little blip. So make we go on same way. When you say to that.
No, well, that
well,
is true. That is definitely true. But as I say, and it comes with maturity. I mean, as you get older, you realize that the same signs you see from day one come back and bite in a day 90. and you should be in a position where you learn from it. That is nobody's fault but yours. So if you can remember, or you when you did talk with your girlfriends or your guy friends, and them remind you, say, remember you did see that one time there, you did tell the same, did do this that one time there. You only have yourself to blame. So you have to be mature in the situation to learn from your own mistakes.
So
And
is there, so to go back to the question where the viewer asked, well, nobody's time frame is the same,
Mm.
obviously.
mhm.
But at what point though do you say, you know what, me a par with you for 90 days, 180 days, 6 months, whatever. I expected X, Y, and Z. Is it that time? Because no, you're already in the process. You are look for the things them where you're expecting and ask them. Is it that at the 90-day point you ask, or at the 6 month point you ask? When?
Well, probably ask it differently because if you're at the say at the 90-day period as a scenario, you're at the point where you scale down your options. So now
Mm-hmm.
you're probably with your top two in a sense, right? And then within the top two, you're not seeing your expectations. At this point, you don't ask about the things that you're expecting at seeing. At this point, you ask the person, how serious are you taking me? You understand? And so forth. And then based on that question, you can say, well, all right then. Well, if you haven't this seriously, say, all right, what kind of see mind frame? So here I know these are the things that I expect from a relationship from this point on. I mean, how prepared are you to and so forth? Because really and truly, yeah, when if you're at the stage where you have to ask about your expectations, this is where you want to decide, all right, I want to get more exclusive now. I want to get something more serious because now you're talking about what I expect from a relationship because now you're thinking about entering a relationship with this person. Understand?
So I have a saying. I've never heard it anywhere. I'm gonna claim it. If
Yeah.
somebody can call me up and it's fine. Yeah, but I've never heard it anyways. I have a saying, and I've said it to numerous people. I think expectation is the fuel that drives disappointment. That's my saying. I've
True.
always said it. Expectation is the fuel that drives disappointment because somebody's true expectation, this is my opinion,
Mhm.
somebody's true expectation will never be fulfilled by another person, in my opinion. I expected you to do that. That's why people always put when them saying something like that, putting a past tense. I expected you to do that. So personally, this is my personal stance. In relationship, I don't think you need to put no expectation for nobody but yourself. Personally. Because that way you save yourself a lot of heartache and a lot of disappointment. Because there's nobody not gonna be nothing where
Then,
you
but then
ask about the thing.
in a sense, you kind of scale on your relationship ambitions in a sense. Then, if you're going to not expect of the person that you're going to decide to enter in your life.
No,
True.
but I think the difference is that the expectation can be yours. You just don't
Exactly.
put it on the person. Because if I
Yeah.
if I start dating somebody, my expectation of dating is marriage, for argument's sake. But I'm not gonna come to her and say, listen, I want married in 3 months, I'm gonna have kids in 6 months, I'm gonna want this, I'm gonna want that. When you put that kind of expectation on the person, then the disappointment gets fueled as Philip said. But in yourself now say, listen, I'm looking for a relationship based on the person's behavior throughout the 90-day process. You're not seeing that. Then you say, listen, there are certain qualities that I'm looking for that I just never see you have. And that's it. I mean, it don't make no sense to go further because when I'm able to
Exactly.
tell you what I was looking for, and then you start become that person, then you're not changing.
Exactly. That is why I said expectation fuels disappointment because you are gonna be disappointed in another person for some expectation that you had, not them, you had because and I think when people go in relationship with expectations like that, it kind of put a strain on yourself and the relationship because when it not go your way, you get sour.
Mm.
People have to learn for understand say yo their expectation will never be somebody's life. Let's go a little bit deeper before we change to the next topic
Mhm.
for another 2 minutes. Your parents, all our parents, expected us to be doctors, lawyers, and Indian chief. Is that your life? No. But yet them push her to the schools, them do this and them say that. But in reality, we probably wanted to be a mechanic. We probably wanted to be a plumber. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's nothing wrong with expectation, but don't make it fuel you because you're gonna be so disappointed when at the end of your courting or whatever, the expectations that you had and you put it on John Doe or Mary, I say, well on, whoa. Me no want to do all of them something there.
Hold
So
on. So you're saying, Philip, it's good to have expectations, but the expectations have to have some level of flexibility.
exactly. And you can't be hard and fast with it because again, as Capo pointed, if you put out an expectation 90 days and John Doe is not sincere or Mary is not sincere, and then them create that mold, that facade for you because them just comfortable with them there, that not gonna last long because them true part of them are gonna come out.
Two
You
colors like
understand
a
what I'm
cup.
saying? That's why I say it is very dangerous, in my opinion, to put your expectations on somebody. One, giving them the full blueprint. Two, and expecting it to be true when you gave it to them for
But that's the
create.
thing. That's what I mean. So, boy, I would say don't discuss the expectation because you never know how genuine someone is about it. Because really and truly, me might just look some sex. But then the day, me I play like someone want you because you know, say that's what you want.
That's what
And
you,
that is
yeah. So yeah, look
that's
for
gonna
subject.
allow me to get the sex, understand? So if you know help me on my way by giving me your expectations. So remember, you know, I have no desire of wanting a relationship. So I know at the end of the day, I just want to get the cookie jar. So
And
then if
again,
you go, yeah, you give me
go
the
back.
code, the Wi-Fi code, and now you give me the key to your room, everything. You understand? So
And then that's the thing. Your her expectation or his expectation
mm.
is that, oh, you want to have a relationship. That's why I said, do not mirror your expectations on anybody else but yourself.
But on the flip side of Philip, isn't that if you don't if you do that in a sense, you kind of settle. If you get
No,
sex before
no.
your expectations.
All right, let me answer that.
Mm.
You know what you want,
Right.
right? And if you attracted by like-minded people, and that's another question we can dip into a little bit in like-minded people. A lot of expectations by like-minded people are more likely to happen versus somebody where totally opposite from you, and then you expect them to think like you and do
Mm.
things like you and have the same vision of life. I'm not saying it not happen, but it is so far in between. You understand? For the mass
Mhm.
majority, I bet you go. If you want a person who go out camping or somebody will like drink wine and sit down, expectations is if you say to them, say, you don't even have to tell them, say, oh, babe, I want buy a bottle of wine and sit down and watch TV. That will excite them. If you know you are par with somebody will say, you want to go to the club for have a drink. Sitting on the couch and drinking wine is not something you should expect from them. So why put that on them?
I mean, I take your point. I mean, I guess that is why even from a religion and race standpoint, a lot of
Mhm.
parents will say them want their kids to marry in the race and in the religion because a Catholic and a Jewish person getting married, you're gonna have some challenges because they say you're not like-minded. Your expectations and your beliefs and your views
It's so far.
are going to be far-fetched. So therefore, your expectations as to how you're going to grow your kids are how the relationship should go
Exactly.
and should go is going to differ. So yeah, the like-minded it would make it a lot better. But then as I'm saying, whereas religion and everything is a little bit more straightforward. You know, in your first date or second date, you can discuss, are you this, are you that? But when somebody's intent as it relates to longevity in the relationship and what they're doing, that is a little bit more ticklish to know early out what their true intentions will be. And so that's when you have to be a little bit more tactical and how the questions, which for not for digress, because we know so we are chop it up, but sometimes I think the conversations people have are so surface related
Frivolous. So
before frivolous that
frivolous. You are
I
absolutely
kind of
correct.
wonder how somebody reach in a 6 month or 1 year relationship, not even
With
talking about
frivolous
this, and
conversations.
know the person on certain levels. Like, what not talk about? You know what I mean? Because
That's a
right
good
off the bat,
question. That's a very
there's
good
just certain
question.
things. Because even us talking now, just by communicating, we are moved to different subjects and touch different things, which is so any dating relation communication should go. So
Mm.
automatically you touch this and you say, baby, no, say 2 weeks ago you did say something, I want to touch back on it. It's like me, I wonder what they matter about these days.
True, true, true,
All
true,
right,
true.
gentlemen, that's a good one. And again, the expectations, as me said, for me, it fuels disappointment. It's the fuel for disappointment. So,
Hold
all
on, so hold
right.
on, but hold on, but in answering our viewer directly, yes,
Mhm.
because we give her some good discussion around the subject. So in summarizing all this now,
Mhm.
when is a good time then to discuss? Are
When
we
you see,
saying
when you have to know that it is not, it's infinite. You have to know when it's a good time. There's no time limit on it because
right?
people move at a different pace. That's as simple as that.
And
People
I,
move at different pace.
and I would say it's best to wait until they can get an appreciation of how genuine someone is towards
Exactly, and that is why it's
Agreed,
infinite because
agreed,
it is not a time frame
agreed.
on it.
you.
But
Right, right.
yeah, all right. So the next question from another viewer, and they, this one is kind of tricky for both men and women, and it's yeah. How do you prepare yourself to go back out into the dating world if you were in a long-term relationship for years and now things don't work and you have to jump back out there? How do you prepare yourself? Now, I can't speak about this topic because
Right.
I still in a long-term relationship. So let me make the gentleman them talk for a while first. I will see how else I'll play David's advocate. So go through.
All right. Let me start it. I think my thing is this. You have to be in a mental and emotional space to start. That is the first thing. It don't make
Mm-hmm.
sense you try to get over your past relationship by just running into a new one. That's the recipe for disaster. So once you have been in a comfortable space and it's all right, you're ready, you have to put yourself out there. You can't, most people or most women will say there are no good men out there, or them can't meet no good men, yet still all them do is go work and go home. How you ever meet them? So unless you have a plan for day with all your co-worker them or day with your neighbor them, you're not gonna meet nobody. So you have to be a little bit more friendly. I always hear women talk about the resting bitch face. Try to smile a little more, whether the supermarket, the pharmacy, the car wash, even go to the club if so be the case, go to church. You have to
Church.
be out there and be sociable to meet people because there's only so many friends or friends you can meet. You say, oh, Philip, introduce me to one of your friends them or Lev, introduce me to one of your friends them. How long you gonna do that? Because eventually the circle gonna get smaller and smaller and you're gonna realize that you're date out of the same pool. So to answer that question for me, make sure you clear your mind, clear your heart, so you can get a new person a fair chance. But then you have to still go out there. If somebody slide in your DM, work with it. You never know. It could have been a Prince Charming, but not because he do it through social media means that he's a creep or something.
But wouldn't that say you would have to make sure say the message appropriate?
No, it have to be appropriate. I mean, if the person I gonna be offensive, the first DM message, then definitely him already write off himself. But yeah, I mean, if the person just say hi, want to get to know you, whatever the case is, see
Okay.
what happens.
Well, let me
Well,
what you say.
well, for me, still, is a well, I agree with Capo, but I think I don't want more put in perspective. I think first, in a long term, it all depends on what caused relationship to end. Is it that this person it was a hurt, or is that in the mutual side say, oh, things now work, I gonna move on. But in any case, you have to take the time out to detach yourself from that relationship. You have to take the time out to heal. Because if you're still hurting from the relationship, there's no way you're ready to go back out there. And there's no way you should use going back out there in a sense to get over whatever hurt that relationship caused you. So
Right.
key thing is that you have to take the time out to heal and detach yourself from that previous long-term relationship. That's that.
Never question for it's similar and it's a pet peeve of mine, and I've seen it so many times, and it's a part of getting yourself ready for going back out there personally, and I've seen it. So why is it that when you're getting yourself ready for go back on the market, so to speak, you put your best foot forward, you start to go to the gym, you start to wear makeup, you start to make sure your hair do, you go to barber more often? Why is it that don't continue? It's just we are just more and more somebody give me a different perspective on that a little bit. Because I've seen women who are in a relationship with men. As soon as them and the man left, them are the hottest thing in the streets. As soon as the woman left the man, him want go to gym, go work out.
Well, is that all the time? No, because
No,
sometimes
I'm just 90% of the time
sometimes it left. You
that
say, you
happens.
know, the man mash up you, man. Look how the man, boy, the girl mash him up, and boy, the man mash her up you, man.
Yeah, but that
That's
is
time.
just
So,
because no, because we point that out. It doesn't
mm,
mean it's the majority.
right,
Look at
true.
most of the time when women and man go apart, it's like them a try outdo each other.
I would say when them go apart, is I think it's after them get over the hurt, them start now go out and start going gym or start go yeah start
Yeah,
but it's not while
so
them
that is
hurting
so
while them hurting they go do that.
is that a part of them getting ready to go back out there?
I would say so, yes. I would say
Yeah.
so.
I think you see, and I think you go back to ego and pride and social, what you call it, social responsibility, all them things. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you're in the relationship, I think even on the page it was posted why you see more single people at the gym versus people in a relationship at the gym. It's like there's a content mindset. Oh, she good, me good, and whatever. But you will more likely to see single people out there getting fit, running, trying to put their best foot forward. And nobody wants to go out and see them ex looking bad. Well, see them ex looking better than them. Put it that
Oh,
way.
okay. I was
So
just
you
I
want to
say you
make
need to
sure,
fix that.
yeah. So you
That's
want to make sure when she see you or when him see you, you look hot. So the person said, you know, that me left, or she looks so good now, whatever, whatever. So I think that is a big part of it. Is that yes, you're doing it for you, but I think a little part of it, you're doing it for the person. When them friend or somebody say, yo, you see level recently, yeah man, level look good, level this, level that. You want it to reach back in a little way. If you say, yeah man, say where you lose, that's your fault that.
Uh, well, as me said, me can't speak much on it. I'm just observing from the sideline. And let me touch upon something where you said though. The mental part of it is very, 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 very important because a lot of time mentally, women and men do things after a long-term relationship have ended. Fi try for as level say quell what happened to them in the past relationship, which I don't think that is healthy for not even themselves. Forget the other person at this point, for themselves, because you basically start to create baggage because you never let it go. You start to create baggage, so you move on to the next. So I would say getting yourself ready for another relationship, putting yourself out there. You have to get rid of the baggage first before you even can move forward, which is mostly mental. The physical part that will always come afterwards. Because as I say, you don't want them see a road. Them at and you look like roly poly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Straight, straight.
I can appreciate that and stress the mental part more than anything else. So ladies, gentlemen, if in a long-term relationship and it not work out for whatever reason, take the time for yourself. Take the
Yeah,
time for get to the mental space back in a place where you don't stress out the new man or the new woman.
get reacquainted with yourself. Get reacquainted with
And,
yourself.
and the fear that I think most people have is the fear of being alone.
Mhm.
Yep. It's a
And
major
that is
fear
why
for a lot of
single
people.
people,
Yeah.
in my opinion, they want to go to the club with them friends. They want because that solitude that you had where you go by yourself and you just have four walls, it's lonely. It gets real lonely, and you don't have to deal with that pan too often. So, again, people, mental. So I go move on to a hot one I know, difficult one. Another topic from one of the viewers on yeah. How do you approach a topic of finances in a new relationship? Full long term. No, you're committed, and you committed, not just a man we meet for 90 days. No, we now go steady, we now come into a space together, we now live together now. Yes, on the top, on the skim the surface of money, let's you pay this half, you pay this half, and on a juggle. No. How do you have that conversation?
Um, well, the thing about it, it kind of tricky because you said you can, you said it would be in a committed situation. Fine. But to me, I would say you have to touch the topic. I would even say surface from in the dating situation because finances is so important in any relationship. You don't want to wait until you're actually in the situation to then discuss it.
But
You
that
know what
is
I
not
mean?
all right, let's use black culture. Now I use Caribbean culture now. Me I use black culture. Black
Mhm.
culture is not something art that we sit and discuss finances at all.
Fine.
Whether with parents. So to broach a conversation like that, especially with another black person, that kind of it is not something where just as easy as, hey, what's your favorite color kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
First, let me say this. I have never shared a bank account with my wife of 15 years we're together. Never share a bank account. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Do we talk about money? Yes. Money is a topic that is so hard to broach because, in my opinion, again, people, my opinion, because we were, as young black culture, we weren't taught to talk about money at all. So we didn't even know how to start the conversation. So it make it more difficult for us. Rich people talk about oh, make sure you get a prenup and this and that because they are so open to talk about what they have on their assets. They are protecting it right off the bat. A lot of we not have much protect, so we just figure more or less we don't have to say anything about it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So for broach a conversation like that, we first have to move out of the mold that we shouldn't talk money. That we shouldn't have a discussion about what trajectory we want to go in terms of finances based on where we are at the moment.
Fine.
And
But I think,
go ahead.
yeah, well, all right. If we're gonna use, average middle class people, so you meet the person where you work, what you do. You kind of have an idea of their earning power. Same question, where you work, what you do. So both of them know in and around the ballpark of what your earning is. So I believe, I mean, personally, me
So
not
hold
really.
on, stick a pin with that. Not because me earn a certain amount means me have a certain amount. That
Exactly,
and I
because you have
think that's the
expenses.
misconception.
That is
Because
true.
let's say me earn $10 for the month,
Mm,
but my expenses at $8. You
mm-hmm.
earn $6 and your expenses at $2. You are got more than me. So that is why you have to have these open conversations by talking about money early on, but it's a cultural thing. And I think as black culture, we need to start to talk about money more often. When you talk about money to black people in general, we get uncomfortable. Yo, me don't want a man know me I make. All
Mm-hmm.
right, cool. You don't want a man know where I make. Why is that? Why you don't want the person we have a live with know where you make? Is it that you ask him something you don't want them know? Is it that you
Because I
know?
think it is so it's like opening up about your feelings and your past. You know, even it is so at your core. I think most people their worth is their worth, so to speak. So for me, I can tell you I'm earn $10 and my expenses is eight. I mean, if I put some this and put some this up, it's like them feel like you know your deepest, darkest secrets to most people. So the average person, male or female, is not going to just come up freely and say, "This is my situation. This is where I'm at." Because, as you say, a lot of people will just use their earning power as how much they earn as the conversation, but they really don't debate the expenses of it. Because I've even said to females before, the fact that I earn 10 and my expenses is 3. You as a female coming into my life, my expenses has now changed, whether you want to believe it or not. You know, more gas to pick you up or phone credit or dates
But
and
but
this
but
and
you
that.
see, again, you know you are taking from a point of view. Well, let me say this: everybody live their own reality. Let's
Mm,
broaden the thing now out of our reality. A lot of time we take up women with expenses don't necessarily go up. I think if you're gonna take about woman and the expense is supposed to be balanced, even better off. Because I'm gonna say this because everybody, oh, if you're independent lady, let's be independent together then. Don't bother with this, me pay this and you. No, let's be independent together. You have your own money, we have joint responsibility. Period. If I'm
mm.
buying something for you, I'm buying something for you. It's not a matter. You don't need me to buy credit for you. You buy it yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely,
No.
definitely.
I'm just saying because a lot of time men think men make women think say, oh, me not have to tell him nothing. Me I go just take him money, and it's because of the culture. I
Mm,
personally, my household, we talk about money. Me and my wife and my kids, we talk about money. I'm changing the narrative. So therefore, as a culture, I think black people going in relationships should be comfortable talking about money. We're so comfortable even talking about where a man do to it, where a woman do to it, how she blow it, how she eat me, all kind of thing when they make no sense. And a very important part of that, you don't want to talk about his money. We need to break out of that mental part for say money because we never have it. And I think I was listening to something the other day, and it's so funny. We can't have a conversation about money because we feel like we are gonna lose it. Think about that. We can't have a conversation about money because we feel like we're gonna lose it. The more you take control of how you think and talk about money, is the easier it is to deal with money. You can't, and as from the relationship standpoint, what we are trying to get at in this program, people, you have to have conversations about money. Maybe in the second date, get comfortable with having that conversation because in the long run, you can't start to date a year and then start to really try dive into money. You have to know people's spending habits.
mm-hmm.
You have to know people what they make, how not go balance the ship, how not go grow the empire. You not
Well,
telling me nothing, not help the
I agree.
situation.
I agree. I'm on your level just come back on, so I'm gonna give him a chance. But I think to answer the question, when to bring up finances, I think at the point in which you are moving into from dating to let's have a relationship, that should be the bridge to really go to dive further. So you had made the point that when you just start dating, you might do it surface. When you decide say you want to do a relationship, you go a little deeper. And I guess as the relationship progress, you have to go to the core of it because if I am dating you and I every month me hear say you're having a challenge with your finances for whatever reason, we need to have a talk. What are you doing? Yeah, spend too much. Yeah, live above your means. And then unfortunately, you have some women who feel like you as the man must take on that stress
And that
to
should never be
to
the
to,
case.
to balance them off. So I mean, if you are that kind of man and you feel so
No, and,
inclined
and,
to
and
do
and
so,
here where you go, here where you go,
no,
and that is where we are moved from. We want
no,
to
I'm gonna tell you why
move
I
from
said that.
that.
I'm gonna tell you why I said that, Philip, because while me, you and Level might not join that regime, you have some people out there where if if you want to do it, you do it. Me not gonna tell that man say not to do it.
No,
If
no,
you
I'm not saying that. But here's the thing. Here's the narrative that we
And that
need.
me want to touch on too because as me I say, when it comes
Here's
to
the narrative. I mean,
well,
I
I
make
know,
level touch on it. Hold on. The narrative that you just gave, you have some man out there who are gonna do it because them can. But how is it? How is that? We are talking about relationship now. We're not talking about one way street. How is that responsible of the woman if I make $10, spend 9, and at a deficit every single month? How is that relationship going to grow? Because now what is going to happen? She's not training herself to be financially responsible, and now she's depending on the man for make up her deficit. How do they actually grow?
all right. On the flip side, because as Kepo said, some persons use finances to get in the relationship. You understand? So this after that now you do still have the talk about finances. You understand? Because really no. One of the reasons why someone would have the talk about finances is you know say, all right then, is this a relationship where me have a need to contribute significantly to financially, or is a situation where all right, cool, you know, the person him can cover both away, so we can know, you know. So sometimes that's what that conversation leads to. You understand? Depending on if this person is they don't have to start the breadwinner. So he's the breadwinner of the relationship. You
And there's
understand?
nothing wrong with that, you know. That is nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is, as a culture,
Mhm.
we need to start to have real conversations about
I
having
agree.
financial stability about across the field. There's no way because me are the breadwinner, you go be frivolous with money.
yeah, but you see, and the thing about it then is that that's what I'm saying. If I'm in a position where I can say, all right, the core of this woman is good, and more I want have a longevity with it. Me not go cut right away because she have bad spending habits. If I'm in a
No.
position, so I say, if I'm in a position where we can say, all right, me level it off, but we need to have this talk. You are not doing this right. You have to start carry lunch, start do this, start do that. If it is that she don't believe that she need to do these things to be more financially responsible to herself, then that is going to be a red flag for me. And then the
Okay,
rest
I
of
was
it,
just about to say
right?
then exactly.
Hold
So
on,
Because
hold on.
that point now you can lift up and say, yo, they not gonna work. But you
and it
have
goes
some man.
both ways. It goes both ways, and it's not pretend like a
Absolutely.
only woman alone do it.
No, go away because you have man who do gamble. You
Exactly.
understand?
You have
And
drinking problem,
yeah,
gambling
yeah.
problem.
So the girl might say, yo, listen to me, a month time, Mr. Say, with finances, I got extra 150 grand because you gamble on my car and you waste the money. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You go out and you drink, you OD when you drink it. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And it now affects certain things. So yes, you have to have a talk of finances just because you want the balance and check from your partner,
You
right?
want to have that talk early on. And as I said, date number 2. And I think the reason why people skim the surface is a cultural thing. It's in our culture not to talk about money, just like it in our culture as black people not to talk about sex. Period. We amongst men we will do it. Women not doing it so much, especially around your so is that all right? Let's break it up
All
a
right,
little.
me and my brethren, we talk about finances, brother.
No,
We talk about
you are your
finances
brethren them.
only,
So
yeah,
why
man,
not with you
only.
and the female counterpart? They don't. And it's because we never grew up in a household
And,
seeing our parents
and to be
talk about
honest,
money.
you know, so me and it's lately because before me and like my female sister them will feel good with money, with talk about money. And you know, probably yeah,
It's
you understand?
and that's
Yeah.
why I shift the mindset, and that's good. But I think going in our relationship, talking about finances should be like talking about
Yeah.
what is your favorite color. So
True.
when
All right,
is
but
in
what?
the
But
beginning,
all right. We'll talk about that. But what type of conversation on the second day you enter in that when you start finances? Then? Like, you know, what we make? Like you know how
no. It's, and
you
that's the
know.
thing. When people think about finances, they always go back to what do you make?
Fair
No,
enough.
it's not about
Exactly.
what do you make.
That's why more clear it up. You
No, so
understand?
I'll clear it up. I
Yeah.
and personally,
Mm-hmm.
you can go to somebody and you say, you know, me really I look towards the future and I really like you and and want to try see if something can go on. what are your views on certain things, and you bring financial talk into it, because you can pick up certain things from financial talk, not how much you make,
All
but
right. Let me give
financial.
example. All right. So what it was about? This was about say you meet a girl and you say, boy, you like a girl, but you in the position now. You have position yourself now for purchase your house. So
Mhm.
yeah, try to save a deposit. You understand? Yeah, try to put certain expenses because the expenses will come with
Yeah,
having a house.
yeah.
So you look for the girl and say, boy, baby girl, like, I'm a know, say, boy, I this and that. But man, we have to go all the straight in the first year of the relationship because guess what? They are a focus on my, forget my house. You understand?
All
I
right.
talk like that's something like in that's
Exactly. That
print.
has
Okay,
nothing to do with how much you make. That is just
exactly.
giving a financial plan that
Right,
you have a
right.
projection of doing. So if you start a date and your sister to her and she turn and say to you, say, well, me can't, then you automatically
Uh,
know, all right, I am not financially compatible, even for a second with this girl, because me a sure a vision of going up and she see it as a burden. You
As a
right.
understand?
burden.
That's what I'm saying. She could have the best of intentions and she look good. Money in a relationship is important. And
Yeah.
if you can't have money discussions, I guarantee most of the time when people got divorced, it's not because of cheating, it's because of money. It,
True.
people make it seem like it's cheating. Women are more
So
forgiving. Man
what?
cheat all the time. But
So
it's when
what?
the
So
money
what?
not right, things can't go
So
right.
Philip. So imagine the most I make that thought there, and then her response is, "Why? You used to want to mind me still, so man. No, I took work and really.
You see the
Yeah, well,
mindset?
and
You
it's the
see the
red flag
mindset?
right there.
Yeah, I understand.
The
Just a
red
gate,
flag.
may I gate very bluntly. I understand that
But
that
you
is
see, and it
sometimes,
goes back to what even there I said earlier. And
Mm,
when it is that you're dating, people don't realize that dating is expensive, right? It is costly. So
yeah.
if you go out once a week and you're spending $10 every week, that are $40 to your overall budget where you could have saved to something else. So when you approach a relationship and say, boy, baby, knows right now, me add on pan mommy and daddy place so me can have my own a quarter. So me I see if we get some black and steel, so me can have my own a privacy. To some people that might be growth, that might be promising, that might be positive. While to others, all them hearing is, oh, so you can't do. Oh,
Mm.
so we can't go. So what
And
do
and
you do?
again, that is why I
Right.
said, that is why I've said, have money conversations, second date. It, oh no, second date, because you get a feel of what this person feel about money off the get go. Because
And sorry to and because I know at the core of it, the bringing up of the conversation and the specifics is where the issue is. But
Right.
even if you don't want to get to the specifics from day one, you can go about it differently. If you have kids, which school you want them go? Is it primary? Is it prep? Do you know how much prep costs? Are you in a position to cover prep? Because a lot of people want this lifestyle. Oh, they want 2 kids, 3 kids. Do you know what it takes to earn annually to have three
again,
kids? You
and
want
that's the
two
point.
car because you don't want share. You know what it costs to can maintain 2 car, 3 kids and want them go prep school. So automatically you put in the person headspace, so well, say me no did it so. One picnic me have and we are share one
and
car.
and and that's my point. If you wait until a year to have them in-depth financial conversation, and again, to Level's point, and I'm glad he cleared it up to say, we're not asking the question how much you make, because that is when people hear about finances, the first thing popping in their mind, oh, you want to know how much you make. That is
Mm.
irrelevant. I need to know how you view money. I need to know. Because if me and you plan to be successful, we need to understand what we need to achieve financially to go to the next level and to the next. If we don't have that communication, what will happen is you're going a long-term relationship with a woman or a man that is not financially smart, make very bad financial decisions, and it go cause you no happiness. Because me can tell you this, love is a hell of a thing. I love my wife to death. But you see, if I wasn't a provider, she'd a miserable and should have probably gone. And should have still loved me the same, but you can't put comfort and love in a misery and love not operating in the same room. It
Yeah,
not
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
true.
It not work.
That's
So to answer the question, cause we are gonna wrap up shortly. To answer the question, now may I make everybody get a final say point. Me, my personal perspective, Philip, is to have conversation about finances on the second date. Per level conversation, and again, me glad him bring it up. Not about how much you make, but what and your views are on finances. That is just my 2 cents. So, gentlemen, take it, and then we can wrap and for this segment. So,
Well, for me, as I said, just put scenarios. Nobody wants to talk about the dollar value. So put scenarios to the person and see how they look on it, how they view it, how they see it, what are the priorities. And I think that in itself will kind of force it to go deeper, or if they're not giving you the responses you like, then it doesn't make no sense going deeper, you can move on. So maybe the scenarios might be a little bit more comfortable to bring up the conversation.
okay,
yeah, and as a piggyback on Philip's point, I guess yes, it is good to have these conversations from early, so you know what kind of financial mentality your potential spouse is having and so forth. It's not about how you what you make, but spending habits, you know what I mean, spending spirits. So it's all about how we can come together and preserve finance and build finance. Understand? Rather about how much may I make now and what we can do, right?
exactly, exactly. So,
Agreed.
all right, thank you so much, gentlemen. These were some very interesting topics. Thank you to the viewers for sharing their points, and we covered it today. And we'll periodically do it. Just keep sending your questions. We'll pick a few of them and we'll just tackle them as best as we can. And sometimes we'll get different perspectives on the show to answer your questions. So please like, subscribe, share. This is your show, Relationship, where average people, average Joe, average women have conversations about relationship problems, issues in and around the dating world, and have great discussion. So thank you. Have a good day. See you on the next show. Peace
Have
out.
a good